How to check front wheel alignment on a Harley Davidson M8 Softail. Let's get into it.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. Please like, share and subscribe for all the future videos. So this is a quick tech video, I promise, and I'm talking about front wheel alignment. So if you're riding down the road and your steering feels a little bit vague and you're finding it difficult to hold a particular line, let's say in the bends as well, it just doesn't feel comfortable, you need to check a few things. So if you watch that previous video on the steering head bearings, that check and adjustment, do that. Also, go back and watch my video on rear wheel alignment about tension as well. Check that. The next thing you need to do then is check your front wheel alignment. So there isn't actually a test for this on the M8 Softails in particular, but I'm going to show you exactly what you should do. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is look at your front wheel in the front forks. Does it look obviously off center? Does it look as if it's tilting one way or the other? Have a look at the position of your handlebars, and does it match the direction of your front tire as well? So hold your front tire like so, in direction with the frame as you can see it, and do your handlebars look square? If they do, then try this next thing. Okay, so what you're going to do then is take the bike off the lift, have it off the ground, keep it in the level position, but then you're going to have to slacken off the fork stem pinch bolt and also the fork stem top bolt as well, and you're also going to have to loosen off either side the lower fork tuber bracket pinch bolt as well. You're going to have to come to the front tire. Okay, and on the front tire, on the left hand side as I'm looking at right now, there's a little fork leg or bottom fork leg for the axle. There's a pinch bolt there as well. Just slacken that off as well. Right there, that one there. Okay, when you've slackened those off, then you need to get onto the bike very carefully, as it were, and then you need to keep the bike upright, apply your front brake, and then bounce forward on the forks, on the handlebars. And basically what you're going to do, you're going to enable the forks to realign slightly, because the fork legs going through the fork brackets is a very small tolerance, so they should actually align themselves quite quickly. However, be warned here, it may not be that successful in Harley Davidsons because of the geometry and the way they work. It doesn't seem to work that effectively, but I would try that first before you do anything else. Don't undo the top pinch bolts on the fork brackets, only the lower ones. Right, once you've got your setting, you've actually bounced it up and down 3 or 4 times, then do everything back up in sequence. Your axle pinch bolts there, your lower fork brackets there, the fork stem bolt, and also the fork stem pinch bolt as well. Make sure that's all okay. Also, at the same time, before you go out for a test ride, do that steering head pull test as well from the last video. Make sure that's all still within tolerance. Okay, take your bike out for a ride. If it feels better, if it feels comfortable with you, then you know you've done the right thing. However, if it doesn't, then you know there's still something wrong. So you need to come back and look at this again. And you really need to look at the angle of the handlebars, if they're square, 90 degrees, and that angle of that front tire as well. Look at the tyre in particular. Is there uneven wear on one side or the other? Have a look again between the fork legs. Could you measure a noticeable difference between left and right, let's say? Is there a noticeable difference between the left and right fork leg? Are there any gaps? That kind of thing. Now, of course, we could talk about wheel bearings as well, but as I say, if there's no actual play in your wheel bearings as well, then obviously you can, rule that out as well. But so we're just talking about wheel alignment right now, but you can't discount wheel bearings as well. Okay, if let's say you think there's a slight misalignment, in other words that the tyre is slightly this way and the handlebars are slightly this way, you need to bring them back into line. So you need to undo all those bolts again. and just do it very old school. Remember, as you were doing it as when you had a bicycle, okay? You'd clamp the tire in between your legs, and then you just grab the handlebars and rotate them a little bit. Make very small adjustments, tighten everything back up, and then go and take it for a ride again and see if that helps. And just keep on doing that, keep fine-tuning it until you get it right. So what could knock this out? Well, let's say you've had a fall off the bike, you've dropped the bike. Let's say you've hit a big pothole. Let's say you've ridden at speed over a raised curb. That can knock that out. So it's something that you need to check on a regular basis. That wheel alignment, make sure everything is still true. Make sure everything is still square. Make sure it's in line with the handlebars as well. Check for uneven wear on your tyres as well. And have a look at those steering head bearings and this wheel alignment as well. So there are two basic methods which you can do. That bouncing up and down on the forks after you loosened everything off, it kind of works for Harley Davidsons. Try the old method, as it were. Yes, it may be difficult to spot any noticeable differences, and sometimes it's just the slightest little adjustment that makes all the difference. But you've really got to check the rear wheel alignments as well. You've got to rule everything else out first before getting to this point. And obviously, as I say, don't forget those wheel bearings as well. But if there's no movement there, there's no clunking, and it's rotating freely without any abnormal noises, the chances are you haven't got a bearing issue, you've got something else as well. Check for binding brakes. Again, that'll be another video, but check for binding brakes as well. Make sure there isn't an issue there as well. Anyway, I hope you found this useful, but this is all about front wheel alignment on your M8 Softail. They can be adjusted. It's just very fine adjustments that you'll need to do, and you basically shouldn't have to make the adjustment because everything should be aligned within the forks as well, but there can be slight movements, especially as the bike gets older as well. So you just need to line everything up, make sure everything's tight, make sure everything's torqued down, take it out for a test ride and see how you go. Anyway, hope you found that useful. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. And I'll catch you again. Ta-da!